Okay, so it's really frustrating to hear people talk about the Ferguson situation in the wrong way. So the cops, if you've been watching, are criminals, top to bottom, from the police chief to the guy answering the phone at the Ferguson Police Department. They're all racist criminals. Okay, I don't think that's a stretch. And plus they're the dumbest people in the world, right? Do you remember when they released the video of the quote unquote strong arm robbery that Michael Brown had committed right before that cop shot him dead in the broad daylight? So they were, by the way, I remember watching that, and I remember the police chief who I had seen speak on TV all week. For some reason, he seemed extra nervous last Friday. He was way nervous. And he couldn't get his story straight. He was shaking. He kept taking deep breaths. And it was because he was, here, I'll play it for you. Here's a little bit of what he said.
As some of you are aware, I've had a lot of sunshine law requests.
So I'm going to get what this means. So they knew this video. By the way, the video shows, the part of the video the cops didn't release, shows Michael Brown paying for the cigars. He appears to be paying for the cigars. He wanted more than he had money for. He put more back on. He had dropped some. They put some back on the counter. They're walking out. The guy comes running around from behind the counter and says something to Michael Brown. What he says, I don't know. And I don't know what Michael Brown says back, but then they leave. That guy never called the police, never called 911, that guy at the convenience store.
Never contacted the authorities.
Filed the police. Never contacted the authorities. Never filed a police report.
Isn't it true that the authorities contacted him?
Authorities contacted him. They went to his convenience store and said, we want the security tape. He says, I don't want to give you the security tape.
And of course, the media, after reporting this and then finding out they were wrong, printed a huge retraction.
But so the cop knew. So the police chief knew that he was going to give this information, which was wrong, which was damning, which muddies the waters about what happened in this situation, which he was instructed not to release.
Was Michael Brown a member of Acorn?
The Justice Department instructed the Ferguson police captain to not release that video because they knew it was going to cause a riot, because they knew there was no reason to release that video, because that video had nothing to do with him being shot. But the cop wanted to release it to muddy the waters, knowing that people were going to see that press conference and not the one he did later that day where he got called out for being a horrible person and doing the exact opposite of what he's supposed to do. So they're inciting violence on purpose, the Ferguson Police Department, like they've been doing all along, okay? All along, lying, attacking peaceful protesters, killing unarmed people, and now going against the Justice Department's instructions and releasing that video. So that's why he was so nervous. And I'll show you. So listen to what he pretends that the reason the cop, the Ferguson police chief, pretends the reason why he had to release the video was because it's a law. It's the law. I have sunshine requests. Meaning
that's if you request to see the sunshine coming through the head of the guy that just got
yeah. So here's
by the way, he was legally required to release the name of the police
officer, but he didn't.
But he hadn't at that point.
Yes.
So the actual law he had not obeyed. The pretend law
he was obeying. That's right. So here we go. The real law is you have to release the cop's name who's involved in a shooting. And the reason why you do that, they go, but Jimmy, but that guy, they might want to kill him. Well, here's why you have to release the name of the police officer who shot somebody. Because you can't police neighborhoods in secret. And then you can't have agents of the government gunning down citizens anonymously.
See, I got to tell you, I disagree with that law. I think it's an incredibly reactionary law.
Which law?
The law of saying you have to release the name of the police officer at such and such. It's an incredibly dangerous thing to require of a police department.
So when someone gets accused of rape, do they keep their name out of the newspapers? When someone gets accused of murder, do they keep their picture out of the newspapers? Only a police officer, Robert, should be kept out of the newspaper?
I don't think any of those names should be released.
So you're in favor of keeping guys who shoot citizens' names secret? I'm asking you a straight question.
Don't beg the question.
I'm asking a straight question.
I think that if someone's been accused and there has not been collected evidence, you're putting that person in extraordinary danger. And that's why I don't think that an authority should be compelled by law to release the name of someone who is suspected and not convicted.
So
I think it's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with you more. And you can't police the cities in secret, which is what you're advocating. You can't police. You can't shoot people in secret. You can't do it anonymously. You can't police cities without.
But let's say that the story comes out, and it turns out, okay, Michael Brown was armed to the teeth. Let's just say that for the sake of argument. This guy's name gets released the next day before all the facts are in. And by the way, not for nothing, we are more than 2 weeks out, and we don't have the facts of this case.
That's
we really
because
don't.
of Ferguson Police Department,
They
who's
haven't even-
obstructing that
I
information.
understand that, but the notion that we would have the name of the person that we, not having the evidence, assume is guilty of something, but would have his name.
Yes.
Is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, there's a lot of danger in the
And
world.
by the way, not for nothing, if this happened in, say, Columbine, the kids who were in the trench coat mafia would have been lynched. Okay? There is information that is just not readily available during this time. The time after a shooting is amazingly dangerous. You can have
They had a riot because they didn't release his name.
It's better that they had a riot than that somebody went after his family.
I just couldn't disagree with you more. Yeah, okay, we'll just leave it there. I heard your argument. You heard my argument.
Well, they should have brought me in to consult because I've been very good at keeping my name out of the media.
Ha!
It's something that can be achieved, believe me.
I was like, they're not going to release his. They're keeping his name out of the media. I'm like, what's he represented by Bruce Smith? Or
I guarantee you go and you find out whoever wrote that law, and they're going to be a Republican. It's a reactionary law. It's dangerous.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If you want to be a policeman, you have to wear your name tag. You have to let people know who you are. That's just the way. That's just the rules.
Also,
and by the way,
I want to know though, is there instances of a shooting incident with a policeman, and then the next day people coming after his family? Is that something that really? It sounds.
I've never heard of it happening. Never heard of it happening.
Like you're talking about a very hypothetical.
Never heard of it.
Whereas people rioting as a result of lack of information is something that's happened often.
This is correct. So again, all right. I mean, we've heard everybody's arguments.
You haven't heard mine.
I think mine's better.
As some of you are aware, I've had a lot of sunshine law requests for information and documents about a variety of things, some of which is not available to me. But anyway, so I'm here to talk about two things. First of all, the name of the officer involved in the shooting, and then I've had a lot of sunshine requests.
So he mentions it twice, and the reason why he says that twice, I have a lot of sunshine requests, because he knows he's not supposed to release this. He's not supposed to release this video that has nothing to do with the crime. Nobody reported a crime. The people at the convenience store didn't call the cops. They didn't want nothing. The Justice Department told him not to release, which is why he keeps saying this, which is why he's nervous. Let's watch.
I'm going to be releasing information about a robbery that occurred on August 9th, immediately preceding the altercation and shooting death of Michael Brown. It's important to note that I have made contact with someone who is in contact with Officer Brown's family.
So now he misspoke there. He said he has made contact with someone who's in contact with Officer Brown's family. He meant Michael Brown's family. So if you catch what he just said, it's very important to note that I've made contact. Not with Michael Brown's family. He didn't make contact with Michael Brown's family. The police chief of Ferguson made contact with someone who's in contact with Michael Brown's family. You think that would be the guy who'd want to contact the family, don't you think? You think that the police chief of Ferguson would have a dialogue going with their family? Maybe, I don't know. But he contacted someone else who contacted them, which is nice. So
well, these guys didn't even question witnesses.
they didn't.
They haven't yet, have they?
Ferguson police have not. No, they didn't question anybody.